Welcome back to Rare Coin HQ, the place where we take a closer look at coins and the stories behind them. Here, we keep things simple, clear, and honest. We talk about real history, real values, and the details that can help you better understand the coins you may already have. If you're new, welcome. If you've been with us for a while, you know we like to take our time and really explain things in a way that makes sense. Today, we're starting with a coin that many people have seen, but not many have taken the time to study. At first glance, it looks plain and easy to ignore. In fact, a lot of folks have spent this coin without giving it a second thought. But once you look a little closer, you'll see there's more to it than meets the eye. Picture this for a moment. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe one that hasn't been opened in years. You find a small pouch or a stack of loose coins. As you sort through them, one coin stands out. It's silver in color and about the size of a quarter. It doesn't look special at first. But that coin could be something worth learning about. We're talking about the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar. To understand this coin, we need to go back to the late 1970s. At that time, the United States Mint was trying to fix a problem. The large dollar coins being used were too heavy and not very practical. People didn't like carrying them, and many machines couldn't use them. So the Mint decided to make a smaller dollar coin that would be easier to handle. But they also made a very important choice for the design. They placed Susan B. Anthony on the coin. She was a leader in the fight for women's right to vote. She spent most of her life working for that cause. Even though she did not live to see women gain the right to vote, her work helped make it possible. This was the first time a real American woman appeared on a circulating U.S. coin, and that made this coin special from the very start. Even with that history, the coin had problems. Its size and color were too close to a quarter. People mixed them up all the time. Because of that, the coin did not stay popular for long. Many people stopped using it, and it slowly faded from everyday use. But while the public lost interest, collectors started to take a closer look. The coin we're focusing on today is the 1979 coin with the S Mint mark. That small S tells you it was made in San Francisco. Coins from this mint with that mark are often proof coins. Proof coins are made with extra care. They are struck in a special way to give them sharp details and a shiny, mirror-like surface. These coins were made for collectors, not for regular spending. Now here is where things get interesting. Not all 1979 S coins are the same. There are two main types, and the difference is in the mint mark. On one type, the S looks thick and not very clear. The shape looks a bit filled in. On the other type, the S is sharp and easy to see, with clean lines. This second type is harder to find, and that makes it more valuable to collectors. The coin itself is about 26.5 millimeters wide, which is why it is often confused with a quarter. It weighs a little over 8 grams. It is made from a mix of copper and nickel, which gives it a silver color, even though it does not contain real silver. The edge has small ridges, just like a quarter, which added to the confusion when it first came out. When it comes to value, condition is very important. Coins are graded based on how well they have been preserved. Services like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation use a scale from 1 to 70. A perfect coin gets a grade of 70. For proof coins, a perfect grade means the coin has no visible marks and looks just as it did when it was made. At that level, the coin often has a strong contrast between the design and the background. The raised parts look bright, while the flat areas look dark and mirror-like. This gives the coin a very sharp and clean appearance. Most of these coins are not perfect. Many have small marks or signs of handling. Those coins are common and usually not worth a lot. But when you find one that is both the rarer type and in near-perfect condition, the value can rise quickly. Some high-quality examples have sold for thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. In very rare cases, where a coin is considered one of the best known and is fully certified, values have been discussed in the range of several $1 million, sometimes approaching figures near $1.2 million under the right conditions. These cases are extremely rare, but they show what is possible when rarity and condition come together. If you think you might have one of these coins, the first thing to remember is not to clean it. Cleaning can damage the surface and lower its value. Try to handle it by the edges and keep it safe from scratches. The next step is to have it checked by a professional. A trusted coin dealer or grading service can tell you which type you have and what condition it is in. If it turns out to be something special, you may want to sell it through a major auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers Galleries. These companies work with serious collectors who are willing to pay strong prices for rare coins. In the end, this coin teaches us an important lesson. Just because something looks simple does not mean it has no value. Sometimes, the smallest details can make the biggest difference. That's why it's always worth taking a closer look at the coins you come across. And remember, this is just the first coin. There are many more out there with stories waiting to be discovered. Next up, we have the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar in circulated condition, a coin that many people have seen, many have spent, and almost no one thought twice about when it first came out. At first glance, it looks simple and easy to ignore. In fact, most people mistake it for a quarter because of its size and color. But once you slow down and really look at it, this coin begins to tell a much bigger story, one about history, design, and the small details that can sometimes turn an ordinary coin into something far more interesting. To understand this coin, we need to step back to the late 1970s. During that time, the United States Mint was trying to fix a problem with dollar coins. The older, larger dollar coins were not popular. They were heavy, hard to carry, and not very useful in everyday life. People avoided using them, and machines often didn't accept them. So the Mint decided to try something new. They created a smaller, lighter dollar coin that they hoped people would actually use. For the design, they made a historic choice. They placed Susan B. Anthony on the front of the coin. She was a strong voice in the fight for women's right to vote and spent most of her life working for equal rights. Even though she did not live to see women gain the right to vote, her work helped make that change possible. This made the coin special from the very beginning, because it was the first time a real American woman appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. Even with that importance, the coin faced problems right away. Its size and color were too close to a quarter, and people kept confusing the two. Because of that, the coin never became popular in daily use. It moved through circulation quickly, often unnoticed, and many people didn't bother to save it. The coin we're focusing on today has a D Mint mark, which means it was made at the Denver Mint. This is important because Denver coins were produced for regular use, not mainly for collectors. That means most of these coins were handled often, passed from person to person, and show clear signs of wear today. When you look at the front of the coin, you'll see the portrait of Susan B. Anthony facing right. Around her are the words Liberty and In God We Trust, along with the year 1979. On the back, the design shows an eagle landing on the moon, a symbol taken from the Apollo 11 mission. Around that image are the words United States of America and $1. This design connects American history with space exploration, making it both meaningful and unique. The coin itself measures about 26.5 millimeters across, just slightly larger than a quarter, which explains why so many people mix them up. It weighs a little over 8 grams and is made from a copper core with a copper-nickel outer layer. This gives it a silver-like appearance, even though it does not contain any real silver. The edge has small ridges, just like a quarter, which added even more to the confusion. Now let's talk about condition, because this is where things start to matter. A circulated coin means it has been used in everyday life. It has been in pockets, cash registers, and coin jars. Over time, that use leaves marks. The surface may look dull instead of shiny. You might see small scratches, dark spots, or uneven color. Fine details, like the lines in the hair or the feathers on the eagle, may look worn down. This kind of wear is completely normal. In fact, most 1979 D coins you find today will look like this. They are common in circulated condition and are usually worth about face value. But that does not mean every coin is the same. Small differences can make a big impact. During the minting process, coins are made in very large numbers, and sometimes mistakes happen. These are known as mint errors, and they are one of the main reasons collectors keep searching through coins. On this coin, you might find an off-center strike, where the design is not lined up properly. You might see doubled letters or numbers, where the image appears slightly repeated. In rare cases, a coin could be struck on the wrong type of metal, which makes it stand out right away. These kinds of errors are not common, but when they are clear and easy to see, they can make a big difference in value. A coin that looks ordinary at first can become something collectors really want. Another factor is how well the coin has held up over time. Even among circulated coins, some are in better shape than others. A coin with fewer marks, stronger details, and a more even surface will always attract more attention than one that is heavily worn. Collectors look for coins that stand out, even if they have been used. The D Mint mark also plays a role. It tells collectors where the coin was made, and for some, completing a set of coins from different mints is important. While Denver produced many of these coins, certain examples still become valuable when combined with strong condition or unusual features. Now let's talk about value, because this is where things can get interesting. Most circulated 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollars are worth only $1. That's the reality for the majority of coins. However, when you find one with a clear error or an unusual feature, the value can increase quickly. In rare situations, where a coin shows a strong minting error and is well preserved for its condition, values have reached into the tens of thousands. In a few standout cases, especially when a coin has a very noticeable and rare error combined with collector demand, estimates have reached into the range of roughly $90,000 to $120,000. These examples are extremely rare, but they show what is possible when the right factors come together. If you think you might have one of these coins, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, study the details, and look for anything unusual. If something seems different, it may be worth having it checked by a professional. One important rule is never to clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and lower its value. Even light cleaning can leave marks that cannot be fixed. Always handle the coin by the edges and keep it in a safe place. The next step is to have the coin looked at by an expert. A trusted dealer or grading service can help confirm what you have. Services like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation can grade and certify the coin, which helps protect it and makes it easier to sell. If your coin turns out to be valuable, you can consider selling it through a major auction house. Companies like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers Galleries connect sellers with serious collectors. In an auction setting, buyers compete with each other, which can help raise the final price. In the end, this coin is a great reminder that even something simple can have hidden value. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar in circulated condition may not stand out at first, but with the right details, it can become something special. That's why collectors always take the time to look closely, because you never know what might be hiding in plain sight. Next up, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar in circulated condition, and this time, let's take a different path into the story. Instead of starting with history, let's start with a moment that feels real. Imagine you're standing at a small store counter. You pay in cash, and the cashier hands you back your change. You don't think much about it. You drop the coins into your pocket and go on with your day. Later, when you empty your pocket at home, one coin catches your eye. It looks like a quarter at first, but something feels off. It's just a bit different. You turn it over, and there it is, a Susan B. Anthony dollar from 1979. That simple moment, something most people would ignore, is where many coin stories begin. This coin has been passed from hand to hand for decades. It has lived a full life in circulation, and because of that, it carries both wear and history at the same time. The P on this coin stands for Philadelphia, one of the main mints in the United States. Interestingly, coins from Philadelphia in 1979 often do not show a mint mark at all, which can confuse new collectors. No letter usually means Philadelphia. That small detail alone can trip people up, but once you understand it, it becomes second nature when sorting coins. Now, let's slowly step back in time. The year is 1979, and the United States is trying to improve its coin system. The large dollar coins from earlier years were not working well. People didn't like carrying them, and they didn't fit well into everyday use. So the U.S. Mint decided to try something different. They created a smaller dollar coin that would be easier to use and more practical. At the same time, they made a bold and meaningful choice for the design. They placed Susan B. Anthony on the front. She was a strong leader in the fight for women's right to vote. For many years, she spoke out, organized groups, and pushed for change. She never gave up, even when progress was slow. Putting her on the coin was a way to honor her work and recognize her place in American history. It was also the first time a real American woman appeared on a circulating U.S. coin, which made it a major moment. But even with that importance, the coin didn't succeed the way the mint had hoped. The problem was simple but serious. The coin looked too much like a quarter. It had a similar color, a similar size, and even a similar edge. People mixed them up all the time. Because of that, many people didn't like using it. It quickly became one of those coins that people avoided or spent without thinking. That's how many of these coins ended up in circulated condition. They were used again and again. They moved through stores, banks, and pockets. Over time, they picked up marks, scratches, and wear. If you hold one today, you can see that story on its surface. The shine is often gone, replaced by a dull look. You may notice small dark spots or uneven color. The fine details in Susan B. Anthony's hair may look soft or worn. On the back, the eagle landing on the moon may not look as sharp as it once did. These signs of use are normal. They tell you the coin has been part of everyday life. The design itself is still worth taking a moment to appreciate. On the front, you see Susan B. Anthony facing right, with liberty above her and the date below. The words "In God We Trust" sit beside her. On the back, you see an eagle landing on the moon, holding an olive branch. This design was inspired by the Apollo 11 mission, connecting the coin to one of the greatest achievements in American history. Around the edge are the words United States of America and $1. The coin measures about 26.5 millimeters across, just a little bigger than a quarter. It weighs a bit over 8 grams and is made from a copper core with a copper-nickel outer layer. That's what gives it that silver color, even though it does not contain real silver. The edge has small ridges, which again adds to the confusion with quarters. Now here's where the story becomes more interesting. Most people see a worn coin and assume it has no extra value. And in many cases, that's true. Most circulated 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars are very common. But collectors know something important. Not every coin is exactly the same, even if it looks that way at first. During the minting process, coins are made in very large numbers. When millions of coins are produced, small mistakes can happen. These are called mint errors, and they are one of the main reasons collectors keep searching through coins. On this coin, you might find an off-center strike, where part of the design is missing because it was not lined up correctly. You might notice doubling in the letters or numbers, where the image looks slightly repeated. Sometimes, the strike may be weak, leaving parts of the design looking faint. In rare cases, a coin could be struck on the wrong metal, making it stand out right away. These errors are not easy to find, but they do exist. And when they are clear and easy to see, they can turn a simple coin into something much more valuable. That's why collectors take their time. They look closely at each coin, even the ones that seem ordinary. The Philadelphia version of this coin has its own place in collecting. Because it often has no mint mark, it can be easy to overlook. But for collectors building a full set, having coins from each mint is important. Even small details like this matter when you're trying to complete a collection. Condition still plays a big role, even for circulated coins. Some coins are heavily worn, while others show only light use. A coin with fewer marks, better detail, and a cleaner surface will always stand out more. Even in circulated condition, collectors notice the difference between a coin that is worn and one that is still fairly sharp. If you ever come across one of these coins, it's worth taking a few extra seconds to look at it. Turn it under the light. Check the details. Look at the date and the surface. Ask yourself if anything seems unusual. That simple habit is what separates casual observers from true collectors. If something does catch your attention, the next step is to handle the coin carefully. Try to hold it by the edges and avoid touching the main surface. And most importantly, do not clean it. Cleaning can damage the coin and reduce its value. Even if it looks dirty, it's better to leave it as it is. After that, you can have the coin checked by a professional. A trusted dealer or a grading service can help you understand what you have. Services like Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation can examine the coin, confirm its condition, and place it in a protective holder. If your coin turns out to have something special, like a strong error or better condition than usual, you may want to sell it. You can visit a local coin shop, but for higher value coins, auctions are often the better choice. Companies like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers Galleries bring together serious collectors who are willing to pay strong prices for the right coin. At the end of the day, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar in circulated condition is a reminder of something simple but important. Not every valuable coin looks special at first. Many of them start out just like this, quiet, worn, and easy to miss. But with a little knowledge and a careful eye, even a common coin can become part of a much bigger story. And the next time you get change back at a store, you might just take a second look before putting those coins away. Because sometimes, the most interesting finds begin in the most ordinary moments.